Okay. Open at 73.76 with a straddle of 27 points. That takes us to 74.04. I think the straddle. Just double check the straddle here. Yeah, 27-point straddle. 27 points takes us to 49. Oops. Intraday. I'm gonna check the intraday chart here. So the call wall has been migrating up. Every day we've been hitting the call wall. So the easy answer would be, or the easy prediction would be a move up into the call wall. After maybe a move down. Gap fill in about 4 or 5 points. Oh, actually in about 6 points. Hey, Koshik. I have been sitting in a short since 7,400. Sadly, not in the account that I'm showing right now. Yeah, I kind of just left an order on this morning at around 7 a.m. I just put an order on at around 7,400 and just had to go about my duties. So I did that, and ideally we see overnight lows on ES. I don't know that we'll go down that far. Every day so far we've been hitting the call walls, which is that dark blue area that you see every day for the past 3 days. We've been hitting it every single time. What's interesting is when I fed the weekly report into Claude or Alma's report on Monday to Wednesday, it had said it predicted an upside drift, mechanical and structural, relatively low vol. And then Thursday was the only turbulent outlier, most likely session for a pullback or intraday reversal. All feedback loops activate. I don't know what to think about that right now. The call wall is still above, and it's sitting about 50 points, 50 to 60 points above where we currently are at. 390 ES. Yeah, I think that's the real long opportunity too. NQ is actually not really budging right now. Yeah, yesterday I kind of like, I think I lost the 2 trades that I tried short, and then I was like, you know what, in the afternoon, I figured the call wall was sitting above. I was going to give it a shot, and I gave it a shot and then managed to recover the account above 50K. So I'm going to keep it at that for now. I think you're going to get your bounce. You're going to get a nice bounce, fill the fair value gap, and then hopefully we continue lower. So that, I think this is, yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get your nice 390 ES. Hopefully get that beautiful sweep. Get that sweep. And then run back up towards POC, I would imagine. The overnight POC. This is all YM selling off after sweeping the overnight highs. Kind of wish I took that one on more accounts, but it wasn't a very high probability trade. Like my entry was off the 15-minute fair value gap, and I was just thinking we're going to head lower. No real entry model, so I didn't really enter on multiple accounts. And with the potential of us still drifting upwards towards that call wall. Towards, I guess that would be 74.20 and through to 74.50. Options depth is acting a little bit funny right now. It's not showing any candles. No candles. And no candles and no price line. 7368. I'm just gonna have to manually 7368. 7354. 7354. Yeah, I want to see a run towards 7354 SPX. So that's about another 14 points ish. Bookmap seems to have orders everywhere on ES. I'm thinking that the person that's streaming the feed on YouTube for Bookmap is likely didn't zoom in properly or something like that, or their scale is off. So Centroid is above. I'm showing a downside pivot and an upside pivot, but Alma didn't really note pivots. She really only noted a centroid and a target. And the target is, oh, one sec. The target to the upside is basically your call wall. 7434. The upside pivot was what she said. She didn't say, oh, one sec. I don't have my Discord open at the moment. My other device crashed. So the centroid's at 7381. Straddle is 27 points at open. The downside pivot is really at the upside, and the downside pivot that Alma noted is really just a confirmation of the move up or down. So they don't really act as like pivot points per se, but her targets is where the path of least resistance is. And she said the reason why this is the case is because the speed profile is so steep on both sides. So there is no real pivot. One sec, I'm just relaunching the other device. No 10 o'clock news today. There you go. There's a sweep. I'm just holding on to it though. I think NQ is confirming the move here. YM's kind of holding off a little. They're essentially taking turns. Let's see here. We're at 65. What was the low there? The low is 62. 62. Yesterday's charm profile had zero respect. There was a lot of sell pressure that came in based on charm, but price just kept on rocket ship. I just rode a rocket straight to the call wall. Okay, here's my Discord. What is 6SM 2026? Testing other market as well. Is that a Forex market? CHF futures. Ah, the Swiss market. Okay, okay. That's pretty neat. Yeah, the only reason why I can't test the other markets is because there is no other options depth. Like, I can't get an accurate gamma profile. I would only have to trade price action, basically. Something I would have a hard time doing. Yeah, I think this is a good place to close for me. I want lower, but I don't think I'm going to get it. YM and NQ are not cooperating together. They're taking turns. So when YM does a slight push up, NQ does a push down, and then vice versa. Like SPX is kind of stationary here. We're still at the low 60. $73.55. All right, I am gonna cut out here. I definitely should have taken that trade on all my accounts. Sadly, that didn't happen. I just had to step away from the computer, so I just kind of set it and forget it. Yeah, that was a pretty high volume candle. I think on the 5 minute, that was a very high volume candle that closed. Oftentimes I like to, and not to mention NQ did like a nice bottom wick there too. YM is still pushing down. Whenever there's a high volume candle like that, it kind of concerns me. It could be like one of those end of move kind of candles. That's the main reason why I closed out. Gonna go back to the gamma profile. $73.61. Candlestick delay. Okay. $73.61. Yeah, not much. Like the positioning looks very it looks like fish bones basically, which doesn't really give a great edge here. On the gamma profile, I probably wanted to see 73.55-ish. NQ, holy smokes. Looks like market maker sell mod on a 15. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so when I set the order this morning at around like 7 o'clock-ish, 7:15, around there, I just set the order at 7,400. I figured NQ swept its previous day highs. NQ swept its previous day highs. And I was just giving edge for a potential gap close for one once market opened, and then two, it was like the only fair value gap that was kind of there, and it looks like it actually moved up towards value area high instead of the fair value gap. So I definitely sat through a 3-point drawdown there. One minute, I'm not seeing anything yet. NQ is going way up there. YM swept its overnight lows. Yeah, one thing I really liked about that 5-minute candle. So 9:45 closed, and the volume was just so high. So it felt like a termination candle. And then you also got the SMT on the 5 minutes between ES and NQ at the 5-minute lows. And NQ was stronger and it just pumped up. But for NQ, I don't think you can really get in until 28,754, which would have been about a 40-point stop loss. Assuming that you aim for the highs, it's like a 1-to-1 at best, just over 1-to-1. Yeah, the 5-minute high volume candle right there on the 9:45 close, and then 9:50 often wicks just below it. But combo that with the SMT, and yeah, I'm pretty happy I closed where I closed. Yeah, I really wanted to see the overnight lows hit, which is about 10 points lower from here. 5-minute touched the 80 MA and then pushed right back down. Oh boy. They're trying to 73.85 longs on paper. Yeah, but the 385, you expected to bounce off 385, and then that 9:45 termination candle was so, that high volume on that one kind of confirmed it. So I guess there were a lot of orders just sitting there. Oh, was I on mute? Was I on mute the entire time? I didn't even realize that I was on mute. Yeah, anyways, what I was saying was the short. Was I on mute since the stream started? Oh, just 2 minutes. Okay, okay. Good to know. Yeah, I think what I was saying was the 4-hour chart was one of the reasons why I wanted to short. So the 4-hour candle closes at 6 a.m. And by the time that I was on the computer, I got on the computer, it was around 7:15. And that's when I was just looking for a spot to short. And the 15-minute fair value gap was the only thing that I saw as a potential short at the time. So I just put resting orders there, and then I had to go do a few things. You know what? Your take, you said next bounce I would expect is 385 ES, and 385 ES has been on a rocket ship. NQ is actually pumping. I personally wanted to see overnight low, but didn't see that, sadly. So this would be the test, in my opinion. This 73.75, 73.80. We move above that, I think you got to put resting. You just got to leave longs and watch it ride to 74.20. And maybe trail the stop loss, but that's what's happened every day this week so far, where we just migrated into the call wall. My only concern here would be today looked very different from the other days. There's a lot of long option positioning that came in from customers. I don't know if that means long calls or long puts, but just give me 1 second. I can double check that. Yeah, so 73.75 long calls, 4,400 position long calls. 73.70, 1,700 positions long calls by customers. Average 73.65 long calls. 73.60 is actually long puts, but also short calls. That's why it nets out at 1,200. Everything is long calls. They're betting on upside. But that's what's causing this massive negative gamma here that you see. It's all from the long calls, long call positioning and long put positioning. So it looks a little different from the past 3 days, from Monday to Wednesday. Monday to Wednesday, it had zero negative gamma. It was light positive gamma, and then it drifted into the heavy positive gamma. But this is the first time that we're seeing a massive like negative gamma pocket. So if we run up and we stall, some headline news can just hit us and then we'll spool down. Which makes it hard to play longs if you're going to hold from above 73.80, or maybe you get in at 73.85 or something. So this is the 15-minute fair value gap retest on ES. $10.11. Okay. Straddle is at 23 points right now. Something to note, I'm going to send you something through Discord. This is from Vol Signals, and really he probably got it from Goldman Sachs or someone like that, a bank like that, that publishes CTA flows. This is what they estimate it's going to be. So for the most part, if it's an up tape, the CTAs are expected to buy. So over 1 week, like a flat or up tape, it looks like they're buying about $3 billion, $3 to $4 billion. A down tape, they'll be selling about $4 billion. And then over the next month, you can kind of see that a flattened up tape would imply buying, but we're looking at maybe 20 billion in buying. And then a down tape, sellers will be selling, or a down tape, they have to sell 114 billion, 115 billion. So like the skew, it's kind of skewed to the downside, where there's a lot more downside risk. And yeah, I think we've talked about this before, where if you see the market, or the American market anyways, as a sum of all flows, CTA is one of the flows. Then you have the vol control fund as another flow. And these are really large flows. Then you got the 401k retirement flows, which is basically anyone who has a job contributes to their retirement plan. And the companies also contribute on your behalf because they normally match the retirement plan up to like a certain percentage. That just goes into buying up the market for the most part. So that's just always a positive flow. Yes, pension funds. Thank you. And then you also have, yeah, those are like the sum of the large flows. And then you have hedging flows, which is what we track from a day-to-day basis with ODT positionings. Okay, this is interesting here. Very sporadic movement. It's almost like news is hitting the tape or something. Something weird's happening. I'm seeing nothing for news though. Yeah, 73.75 is going to be a tough hill to climb and through to 70.80, 73.80. But once we get above that and hold above it, I think that drift up will kind of come into play. Yeah, I guess while the market's just a little slow right now, I'm going to look back in the previous 3 days and have a look at where the market ended up. Candlesticks aren't super great, but because it kind of discontinues here, and I think we ended up closing at 73.6465 or something. So this is a little off. But also this is the daily positioning, so pre-market positioning. And the previous day before that doesn't have candles for some weird reason. Oh, there you go. Oh, maybe did we not? May 5th. May 5th. I gotta see the intraday on May 5th now. Oh yeah, maybe we didn't drift up to that 73.10 level on May 5th. What is that, Tuesday? And then I think Monday. Oh yeah, Monday wasn't a drift up. Monday. Yeah, Monday went down. Okay, so maybe it wasn't all towards, it was just yesterday. I guess it was confirmation bias. But you can kind of see that there's a call wall. And this week the call wall has moved up because now the call wall is at 74 50-ish, right? Let's get back to today. Yeah, 74.20 to 50. So we might not actually get the drift up. I guess it was just kind of confirmation bias. But something to pay attention to, because yesterday we did drift into the dark blue zone. I'm glad I checked, because I thought that we've been drifting into the call wall, but there's only been one call wall, and it's around that 73.20 to 73.60 area, depending on the day. And we have drifted up, but it was really just yesterday that we finally hit that initial call wall. And then now the call wall had been pushed up. So if we drift up today, Friday would be what ICT would call a TGIF day, which I think is about a 20 to 30% pullback of the upward run. Because we basically got to run from like Tuesday to Thursday. New highs every day. Yeah, and I believe that's like an ICT playbook from a while back. And when I say 20%, 20 to 30% pullback, it's a 20 to 30% pullback from the weekly move. So we're talking about Monday's low to Thursday or Friday's highs. This is also like, I just sent you something on Discord. And this is a market maker net positioning gamma, likely from Goldman Sachs also. And yeah, it does look like there's quite the kink there. Based on, yeah, oh, this was one day old. So that very sticky strike, positive gamma, deep positive gamma, was around 73.50, I think, if roughly. That's where you get that nice peak up. That was yesterday. Today looks different. in theory, so this was generated on May 5th, end of day. So if one was generated yesterday, end of day, you would probably see the orange have a kink, a larger kink around 74.20. If I had to guess. Yeah, and then you see, like, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing this massive, oh, wait, actually, the best way to see this is 3D chart. Yeah, so this is what you're seeing from Goldman Sachs. So today, if they generated it last night or on market close yesterday, you would see this jump up at around 74.20 all the way through to 74.50, and then you'll see this bump down, which is kind of what you saw yesterday, because yesterday was the exact same thing. Based on the May 6 positioning, this is what Goldman Sachs is showing you. Yeah, they're showing you this value here. A massive bump up in the kink that you see in the chart that I had sent you, 73.50-ish. And then the bump down would be from 74.22, which is exactly what you see. So they're just showing you like this side profile, if you will. And then it's also what we see in the gradient, obviously. The heat map. See the red? Sorry, the blue. The dark blue is the peak, and then the red is the deep negative, which is exactly what you see today. Same thing. Massive call wall. You're not likely to get up here. But this is everyone, like, I don't know, massive funds are short positions here, collecting premium, and this is their hedge if things should go against them. So this is like one massive call spread, if you will. Call credit spread, I would say. Anyways, it looks like the market hasn't done anything, so it's a great time to kind of show you these things. Especially if you like if you end up seeing this on Twitter or something. I've always wondered what the heck I was looking at a while back when they were posting these gamma positions from Goldman Sachs. This on NQ on the 5-minute, I would have wanted to short that. Should I give it a shot? Because you get the 5-minute massive top wick, higher volume candle. Then you also have 73.75 on SPX kind of holding things down. I would have wanted to short it, but I don't think I will. Wick formation on the weekly candle. Yes, exactly. Wick formation on the weekly candle for TGIF. I think I can get a pretty low risk short here. So I might give it a shot. Do it like 3 MNQs. I'm gonna wish it's gonna be 3 NQs. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them either. But I'll give this one a shot. I'm gonna take profit a few different times, but you see here. $45. I'll take one at the around 45. There's a 5-minute volume imbalance there. And then I'll set some more at around 8:20. Bounce off the first volume imbalance there on the 5-minute. I took that one on MNQ, by the way. Very uncorrelated. Yeah, it's very uncorrelated today. YM is just moving further and further down. We got a little bounce here on YM, which is likely why you're seeing a little bit of weakness on NQ. And nothing's happening with ES. And I still think that 73.75 is acting as a pretty large resistance here. We can pop up, don't get me wrong. Yeah, my views are all messed up today. Initially, it said like I had 7 views. This doesn't seem correct at all. ES looks like it kind of wants to push up here. So I might be on the wrong side of the trade. Hang on. I'll be right back. I'm back. Looks like the trade is going against me. Yep. Yep, I'm cut out. Looks like we're gonna go test that 73.80 area. $73.80, yeah, on SPX. I think that's a hard long on SPX. Yeah, it looks like NQ and YM are moving in the same direction now. Interesting move here between ES and NQ. YM is moving up. Thought SPX would try to hit 73.80 at least. Just can't seem to shake. It's been an hour and SPX has moved. We actually got a 15-point move. It was not too bad, I guess. It's starting to look like yesterday, where we're just gonna squeeze up slow. Sorry, not squeeze up, inch up slowly. Right to the centroid, 73.60 low, right to the centroid. Some of you might notice that there are no upside, downside pivots, only targets today. This is simply because of steepness of the speed profile. Centroid is the main separation line that cuts half the tail-to-tail risk. Half the tail-to-tail risk reversal profile, while pivots cut half the local risk reversal profile. Downward and upward, above and below the centroid range, not exactly, but schematically. But when profile is this steep, centroid is enough because local pivot calculation results all right equivalent with targets. Interesting. What is NQ doing here? Acting a bit sporadically. Right off of the SPX 7380 level. So NQ did the IFVG. That's interesting. I'm going to short ES if you get a 2-minute IFVG. Yeah, that's good. I don't mind that at all. I support that. YM is still moving. It's still retracing up right now. You get the 1 minute IFVG on ES. I might try this with you, but I'm gonna try it on MNQ. Because I still like where we're at. We actually haven't moved much from my original play. And a sudden surge here. Yeah, on NQ, it's like IFVG headed down on the 1 minute, and then IFVG headed up on the 1 minute. Just amazing. I love this price action. One side, it's like so hard to see any continuation to the downside. Amazing. Still trying to push. SPX is still trying to push to that 73.80 level. It's attempting. Yeah, that already knocked me out. Brutal. That knocked me out there on MNQ. I sized up for that one too on MNQ. That one hurt. Guess we shouldn't fight the flows. There's the push above 73.80. Yeah, the 5 minute on the ES is exactly what I want to see for that short trade. And then also you have the 73.80 level. But so far, shorting has been a fool's game. And I learned that yesterday, and I'm learning this again today. This is brutal. What in the world? Yeah, and one thing I think I've said earlier this week too, that I'm also finding it very hard to enter long, even when the profile suggests like a potential drift up. YM is retracing back up here. $33.85 on SPX. $73.85. Alma did say 73.81. The centroid is sticky. Actually, you did a pretty good job of playing continuation yesterday. It was like a trend continuation upwards, right? Off the orb. 15-minute orb, I believe. It's a pretty good trend line there, eh? Do you think we'll have a little pullback potentially to the trend line at the very most? NQ doesn't have clean trend line. It almost looks parabolic. And then starting to like a logarithmic kind of curve where it's starting to taper out a little. So this is the 5-minute candle that reverses on NQ. God damn it. There's really nothing on the daily profile for me to really pay attention to besides the potential drift up. Yeah, I saw the pic. Pretty much a trend line, 1-minute trend line, right? Or 2-minute trend line, yeah. So any pullback will probably come back to their 7401-ish, which also happens to be the value area high. Should we get a pullback? What's crazy is that ES didn't sweep. It got so close. I'm gonna break this keyboard today. Amazing. Just amazing. If I'm not online tomorrow, it's because my keyboard broke. Yeah. Did you try it? It's sorry, I wasn't sure if you were trying it long or short. Because your long entry would have triggered if you are going long off the trend line. Oh, short, I see. Did you short to the trend line? That was pretty good. For NQ, I like to use an indicator called RTI. And when we're above the 120 level on RTI, I would not take a long on NQ. Actually, we didn't get a good close on IFVG yet. Okay. We're back at 73.80. 10-point oscillation there from 85 to 75 on SPX. I'm frozen. I don't know what to do here. $73.75. $73.75 now, access support. This is the 1 minute fair value gap, I believe. Actually, I would say it's IFVG on the 1 minute on ES. think I just missed the entry if I wanted to go short. And the entry would have been a 5-point stop loss at the IFAG on the 1 minute. Oh, it's going. It's going. The 2 minute? Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, the 2 minute IFVG looks so perfect. I'm gonna cheerlead you on this one. I couldn't get the entry. Or I was too slow in making the decision. Sorry. Back to 73.75 here. This thing, come on, flush. I want it to flush for you. Come on, this looks good. This looks really good. I like the way it looks on the 15-minute too. My stop loss would be way too wild if I joined you now. Yeah, that's a great tool. I really like that tool. Oh, like what do you mean? Like in terms of like if I size up, like my initial trade was like, I don't know what, 200 something points risk. Yeah, and I was just adding to increase my risk. And then I also like increase the risk. Like when I size up, I might potentially double the risk. But if I size up, oftentimes I try to size up on like a retracement of like the wick candle or something like that. Oh, do I use a tool? No, well, I kind of just with MNQ is easy. It's just like multiplied by 2, right? Per position. Um, with MES, it's 5, or ES is 50. Like like if I size up on MNQ, yeah, like if I'm using 7 positions, I'd probably need something like a tool of some sort to help make sure that my stop loss is accurate. But oftentimes I just kind of punch in like on my calculator. Yeah, because if I size up, I hold my stop loss where it is, and maybe I'll get like a lower risk entry. So it wouldn't be like a full doubling up on um on my risk. This thing still looks good. I would have liked to see a better 5-minute candle move down though. It's gonna close right here. At least it's under the 5-minute ADMA. It's the first few candles that's been under the 5-minute ADMA all day. Actually, only in the morning was under the 5-minute ADMA up until about 10. And once 10 o'clock hit, we've been above the 5-minute ADMA. And till now. Yeah, if I find that if you take the trade on TradingView and you have bracket orders, they make it pretty easy to kind of size your risk accordingly. Like you'll be able to see your calculated risk, I guess, is what I'm saying. I forget if Tradeovate is like that. I think Tradeovate's just a buy and sell, right? Like it shows like buy and sell orders where your stop loss and limit take profit is. Yeah, I agree. Like I don't use TradingView for trading per se to execute trades. I really like NinjaTrader. There you go. Yeah, your paper trade kind of sucks. The replay sometimes it's okay. Yeah, I think their replay is decent, but I suppose it's a little different from using their paper trades. Trader Ninja Trader executions are much better. Yeah, I agree. I don't use Tradeovate much, but seeing that, but I know that Ninja Trader does not have a good web platform, which is likely why they purchased Tradeovate. And Tradeovate has like the much better web platform. Ninja Trader has the best desktop platform, I think. Ooh. Yeah, this is funky price action. I don't love, like, they're just testing your patience. They're like, if you want the reward, you're gonna have to be extremely patient. YM is working with you though. It's working well with you. Hopefully you get a nice NQ push downwards. Stops to break even. Yeah, after that move. Like, there's no need for ES to kind of come back up there. It doesn't mean it won't, but YM is spooling down right now, so let's see. You just need NQ to cooperate. Both of them to act in the same direction just for a moment. 73.75. It's crazy how sticky 73.75 has been. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm seeing SPX trying to push here. And if we push, I would like to see it run towards 73.55. 73.55 is still about 17 points down from here. There you go. Boom. Let's go, Koshik. That was a big one. was almost value area low. That was 73.67 on SPX. That's also where the gamma trough is currently. So if you have multiple positions, probably some TP. And then ultimately hold towards 73.55. I would hope for, anyways. Okay, that was a good out. I think, what'd you get, like 10 points on that? Regardless, I think you're green on the day, which is amazing. I feel like this thing's still got some room to go, but technically the 5-minute is such a high volume candle there that it could be the bottom. That could be the low. All right. Sell 7, buy 5. Huh? Do you still have 2 more positions? You have 2 more positions? Yeah. That would imply you still have 2 positions. But yeah, very odd. Maybe it's a glitch. If you don't have any more positions, it would be a glitch. But if you do have positions, you might want to hit that button that says exit at market and cancel orders. Check your logs. Check your trade logs. Just to see what the actual executions were. And what is your, hopefully your logs say that you've closed out the trade. I really wanted to see a further move towards 73.55, but that gamma trough basically prevented us from moving any lower. The intraday gamma trough, that is. Okay, that's good. It's a glitch then. Wow, what a move up. See that 5-minute candle tell. Actually, on the 1 minute, it was such a massive volume candle too. So far, every time we got that, it kind of bottomed. They say topping is a process and bottoming is an event, and you can see the bottom every time there's on the volume candle. On 1 minute volume candles. Even on the 5 minutes, you can see it. Yeah, that was a good play. I like that play. They're pretty sticky though. Very sticky. Yeah, I'm just I'm reading vol signals and what he said around 11 o'clock. So that was at the highs. He's like, it looks like downside range mostly contained. Market is back squarely in a supportive charm region in the profile. Gamma gets large moving higher from here thanks to the ODT calls above us. So don't expect sharp moves. More sideways up grind with an obvious looking test in the intraday inventory at 7,400. Morning profile test at 7,405. That's weird. Now, I don't think my win rate's been good either. I think it's been under 50%. But I do take trades like after, like in the afternoon, and sometimes I take it in the pre-market too. So yeah. But I think after March 1st through to the beginning of April, the first half of April, I would say mean reversion trade was always very difficult because you're in negative gamma, right? And on top of that, after mid-April and through to this early part of May, it was also tough to play mean reversions, but mainly because sometimes you'd have like an upward drift day or where price just kind of pinned, where like it just kind of stood still for the most part and grinded. Wow, that's pretty awesome. And in February, we were, I believe, positive gamma for the most part of February. And it was somewhat predictable. We were ranging, I believe, in February on SPX. Let me just double check that. Yeah, January, February, we were ranging. And then around March is when we started the decline down. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a really neat Excel sheet. Did you create that on Excel yourself, or? It's very, I like the colors. I like the bubbles. It's very visually appealing. Oh, it's Notion. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, January, February, positive gamma environment. If looking at OptionsDepth, right? You're generally in a positive gamma environment, and then starting around like middle of March is when you start kind of getting the decline. And that's when we started hitting negative gamma. So I think you said that you're a reversion trader, like on the very first day or the first week of us talking, you mentioned that you were a reversion trader and normally you wait for positive gamma. a positive gamma environment, and which makes complete sense why all of March and through to early April, the win rate might have declined as a result. In theory, the end of April into early May would have been like a mean reversion style, like would have been good for your style of trade, which is mean reversions, right? And because we were also in a positive gamma environment. But it seems like you're staying true to exactly what you said when for like the first week of us talking. For me, what I tend to do is there would be a positive gamma environment, and then suddenly when we hit in, like, I would adjust to a positive gamma, and then once we get into a negative gamma environment, I kind of take maybe a week or two to adjust, where I could do not so well or close to break even type of thing. And then I would adjust and trade negative gamma, doing okay. And then once we get back into positive gamma, I need a transition period again. Mainly because I don't follow one specific trade model. But my overall through like, let's say last year of trading, it was about 57%. I remember getting as high as 60%, but in general, my win rate hovers at around 55 to 57% on average. So not super great, but if risk managed properly, I should come out on top, right? Wow, that's very impressive. You definitely journal very well. Much better than me. I always go through this period where I journal for a little bit and then I stop journaling. What I tried to do before was record myself trading and then watch it back to see my reaction when I was trading. Because at the time I was having a hard time managing my emotions while trading, like while in a trade. So I was just trying to figure out how I react during trading. And this was like last year. And then what I would do is um, I created like those little shorts that just tried my luck at video editing a little, cutting up and speeding up a lot of my trades that are happening intraday and posting it, or attempting to post it anyways. And it was just so much work to do frequently, so I stopped doing it. But at that point I had already figured out what I was thinking, or like how I was reacting in the middle of my trades and why I'm moving my stop loss and things like that in the middle of the trades. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, I think 2 3 years, 3 years ish for me. I think 2023 was when I was just, it was basically the same thing as you, where I truly didn't start my trading journey like and committed to it until I started like recording myself and tracking my trades to some degree and figuring out how my emotions ran during those trades. And I was just recording. I didn't do any live YouTube streams or anything like that. And I figured this year I start streaming just for the heck of it. Like, one, it keeps me accountable. Two, if anyone asks about Gex, it kind of makes me polish up on how I would explain it. I guess it would test my knowledge of Gex and OptionsDepth and how I use it. But I do have a few entry models that I typically use. No, I haven't watched the movie yet. I don't think I would typically have time until maybe a weekend or something to watch a movie. And that one's a pretty lengthy movie too. It was like 2 hours. Oh, I saved it to my list on Netflix, so I'll definitely see it. Yeah, I have like this log of movies to watch, and when they're like 2 hours long, I have to watch them like slowly and maybe watch it over a few days, which kind of sucks. But oh, it's 3 hours. Oh yeah, yeah, because you have to include the second movie too, right? Or the epic version. Yeah, it's 3 hour plus. You're right. I think I remember seeing like 3 hours and a half, 3 hours, 40 minutes or something like that. But some of that probably includes credits, I would imagine. I definitely let you know when I watched it. Wow, NQ is trying to drill down here. I think this is probably when we run towards 73.55. SPX. But very interesting. Just going through a lot of Alma's weekly posts. I don't understand. She talks a lot about various different derivatives, which are Greeks of options. And I just put it through Claude. I try to give it a read, give it a good try. And I put it through Claude, and sometimes Alma doesn't give us like a Monday to Wednesday thought, or a Monday to Friday thought, but Claude, I ask it to give me what the week looks like on a daily basis, and from Sunday's posts, Alma's posts on Sunday, Claude picked up Monday to Wednesday. There's an upside drift, relatively low vol, and it's just mechanical and structural. Thursday is a turbulent outlier, most likely session for a pullback or intraday reversal. There's a vol feedback loop activated. And then Friday, it's high realized vol, but mean reverting. If price ran up during the week, expect a Friday retest. Range bound resolution is the base case. $73.76. Yeah, that I think is 73.55 on SPX. Kind of wish I just jumped in. But when I trade when I'm bored, or not bored, but like when I trade in the middle, it never fares well. Often I like to do something after like for instance, NQ took out the day's highs or overnight highs and previous day highs. And it didn't mean short right away, but I basically have to caution myself to look for some shorts once that has happened. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. That took forever. Holy smokes. It is 73.57. On a higher time frame, ES and NQ diverged. It's so crazy because the 1 hour chart didn't look like it was going to pull back. All right. Yeah, it's such a shame because I wanted to see this off of like the 1020-ish, around the 1020, 1030 time frame. And that didn't happen because we ended up running up a bit more until about 11 o'clock and then moved down. But initially I had a short, closed it out, well, stop loss. And then it finally hit my targets, if you will. Every target. And then the POC, the sessions POC on NQ is down here at like 735, 739. And that would be that was my last take profit on the last runner. It's brutal. Even vol signals read was incorrect. Yeah, they truly made that very difficult. We're approaching the straddle low, 73.50. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll probably run to have some lunch too. All right, see you, Koshik. Volatility here, market will revert back. And 2 hour massive top wick. Switch to just downside. 2 hours. Yeah, massive 2 hour top wick. Holy smokes. 4 hours top wicking. This is unreal. It's beautiful. That was the overnight low. That was the overnight low on ES. It's a straddle low too. Can't see it bouncing until 73.30 maybe. 20 points down. Overnight low. Would like to see the POC 10 points lower. The naked POC 10 points lower. There it goes. Big move down. All right, I'm going to cut off the stream.